All right. Showtime.
Huh? Oh, that's the wood for the pens. Yeah, we're all set. You just gotta wait till after the April test. Have everything. Alright, so integrals of exponential functions where the base is not in e, it's some other variable, I mean some other number. Alright, so if we look at this, we got y equals a to the u. Do we remember the derivative of that? We should. We have it on our chart here, right? And we did it yesterday with e, right? Except that those other parts went away, right? Here it would end up being a to the u times u prime times ln of a, okay? ln of the base. Good? So here we're multiplying to get the derivative. The integral is the antiderivative or the inverse, so instead of multiplying, you do what? You divide, right? So this one would actually be a to the u divided by, don't put that u prime, just put ln of a, okay? Plus what? Plus that c. It is technically supposed to have that u prime down there, but I don't want to confuse you and have you think of it incorrectly. When you're doing the process of doing the u du, right, getting that u substitution process, you're going to end up dividing by the derivative of whatever that u was already. I just don't want you to get confused with it being there. And then you're doing that procedure and then thinking that you have to have it there twice. Yeah? Right, so are we okay? Can we just remember this? Now for the AP test, if it were to come out, this is as hard as it gets. Okay? This is the typical question. On the AP exam. Okay, the other three examples there are rare that they would come out on the AP test, but it's a possibility. We never know. So we're just getting ready for it, okay? Doesn't come out all the time, but if it does, it'll be something simple like this. So what would u be in this case? X, right? What would du be? Dx, right? So this guy right here would be replaced with a u. That guy goes away. So it's basically the integral of 2 to the u du. And what do we say that derivative should be according to the rule? 2 to the u divided by ln of 2 plus, we're done. And what can we replace that u with?
X.
With x, right? So this is actually 2 to the x over ln of 2 plus. Super easy? Let's try number 2. What would we consider u to be in this case? 3x plus 5. What would the du be? 3 dx. I got a dx there, but I don't got a 3, right? How can I get rid of that 3? Divide by it, right? Divide by 1/3. So now I can write 1/3 the integral of 2 to the u du. Oh my god, it looks like the same problem that I just did, except it's got a 1/3 there, right? So this is actually 1/3, right, times 2 to the u divided by ln of 2 plus c, which can be rewritten as what?
2 to the 3x plus 5.
2 to the 3x plus 5, all divided by 3 ln of 2 plus c. Is this u prime?
Yes.
Yeah. So does it fit the pattern that we said it was supposed to? Yeah. You understand? I just don't want to write the formula and then you approach it and want to put it there, but go through this and then it's going to mess you up. Okay, so if you follow this procedure, that's what it should be. Cool? It'll fix itself automatically. Alright, let's try one more. Let's look at number 4 and then we'll do the definite integral here. So what do you want to make a u over here on number 4? 5x? The whole thing, 3 plus 2 to the 5x?
We can just do five.
I don't know, just.
Just do 5x.
No. I don't know.
I don't know? Getting me all confused? You gotta be able to figure that out.
Let's try both of them, see which.
Let's try both of them? Alright, which one you wanna try first?
The right one.
Yeah, so tell me that one.
Whatever you say.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an actor. I'm not a real teacher.
You plus 2, 5x.
Same.
Yeah,
Plus
so-
5x. Let's do 5x.
Hello?
Isn't it usually like?
I think they turned it off, but I just wanted you to check to see if it's anything weird.
Is it a
Okay,
private channel?
that was probably the rabbit or something. that moved around.
It's an open channel, you can see
But in my
it.
house, it was.
So if I want to see
Yeah.
calculus this.
And then everything was done.
She
Is
should
it
have, I
live?
mean, she never does.
YouTube live or
No,
he
it's-
films it and then he uploads
Yeah,
it?
you
wanna-
can
Yeah, you
Easy
can.
guys, like right now this is gonna take this.
Oh,
I
maybe,
stopped.
I don't know, usually it doesn't.
That's what I think. It makes sense.
Is there any other teachers?
No,
that
just put the code and then.
None of your business.
That's the thing with like,
Alright?
on a test tube, you can read it on your own. Calculus, you
And then when
can't.
you're leaving,
You need something like that.
just put bypass 5 and then.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right.
No, that, I think.
And then you can see
I
all
don't get it.
the,
What is that?
they're like,
Okay, just check the cage. to
You've
make
never
sure
seen
that
any
cage
of
is
these
closed.
No, I know what you're talking about,
like
but
if
like,
they were
what
like
is it?
running and like.
Sometimes the girls don't
Bill?
get it.
And I was
Bill?
like,
Like, this is what it would
I'm
mean.
so scared. I was like, I need to go to the restroom, just wait.
Does it look
Thank you.
like the,
I was like,
you've
if
seen it
there's
before,
someone in here, I
right?
would
This one,
die.
the bill.
Okay, bye.
You've seen it, Judith, you've seen this one?
Alright,
Yes.
so what are we gonna go with here? The
Oh.
whole thing on the bottom? Alright, that's a good choice. You tried it? Alright, so what would be du? Derivative of 3 is 0. What's the derivative of this guy? 2 to the 5x times the derivative of u? 5 times ln of the base, right? dx. So how much of that stuff do I have? This is u. I got the 2 to the 5x and the dx, right? I gotta get rid of this stuff, right? So that's gonna be 1 over 5, right? ln of 2 du. Oh, got the music going on next time. Gotta give us some competition. Good? Alright, so we have the integral of what? 1 over u du, but we gotta put this other stuff on here. So what's the integral of 1 over u? ln of u, right? Okay. So let's do it. So we're gonna end up with 1 over 5 ln of 2 times ln of the absolute value, and what's u? 3 plus 2 to the 5x plus c. So technically we could write it as all of this over that, right? But I don't feel like rewriting it again. Cool?
Can we say minus, like, I don't know that, minus that, or no? Alright, then you can say that.
Can we say minus?
No, oh no, because that would be the, yeah, never mind.
We're good? One more example? Yeah? Let's try this last one here. It's definitely in the.
I'm already.
Oh, there's no more in the back? What? We can make some up, don't worry. What's u gonna be? Just x plus 3? Or like x plus 3 to the third?
X plus 3 to the third. Oh, I didn't see that.
Or
You didn't see that?
That whole thing?
How did you not see that?
You missed
Right
that,
there.
you missed that little 3?
Yeah.
You actually just saved
That
it.
whole thing, okay, so what would du be? 3 times x plus 3 to the second dx, right? So how much of that do I have? So all I gotta do is get rid of the 3, right? So 1/3 du is equal to x plus 3 squared dx. Alright, so we're gonna have the integral, right, 1/3 of 2 to the u. Oh my god, again? Like 30 times in a row, I should have put a different number, right? Couldn't think of anything. It's 2 in the morning. Right, anyways. 2 in the morning, you get it? Ha, didn't. Anyways, so what's the integral of 2 to the u? It's okay, I'm there.
Number 3 to the
So we get 1/3 times
2 to the x plus 3 to the 3rd
2 to the x plus 3 to the 3rd over
ln of 2.
ln of 2, right? Evaluated from 0 to 1. Alright, so let's plug it in. Plug in the 1. What's 1 plus 3?
4
4. So we're going to have 2 to the 4 to the 3rd
so 2 to the 4.
divided by 3 ln of 2. Hello? I'm there. What? Oh, did you get her? Oh, awesome, okay.
The button.
What?
It's like, you still want
It's your face.
The bunny's on my car.
Awesome, thank you, Mom. I'll spank the girls when I get home.
That sounds bad. That's gonna be on YouTube. That's gonna be on YouTube now.
No, thank you.
Dude, he's so funny.
Okay, love you. Right. Dang. Oh, I don't know if I
She's like, I love I would do that, and my mom's like, bye, and then she says, I love you, and then I hang up before she says it, I'm like, oh, shit.
Alright, anyway, so, I'll plug in the 0. What's 0 plus 3?
I don't understand.
3, so we get it minus, right? 2
2
to the 3 to the 3rd,
Yeah.
divided by 3 ln of 2.
2 to the 12.
So what is that? Is that 2 to the 12 or 2 to the 64?
2 to the 12.
What do you think? We had this conversation in the other class.
Power to power multiply 2 to the 12.
Power to a power you multiply.
You don't do
Is this technically a power to a power?
It's like 2 to the 4th.
No, it's not 2 to the 4th in parentheses. It's 2 to the 4th and then the 4th to the 3rd. So what do you think? 2 to the 64
Oh, the first.
divided by 3 ln of 2.
Yeah.
Holy
4 to the 3rd is 64, right? You don't believe me right now, I'll show you on the calculator. 2 to the what? 27 over 3 ln of
2 to
2.
the 64.
Was it 2 to the 64?
Yeah, you get like a huge ass number.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
it's
got
still
it.
here. We checked it in the other classes. They didn't believe me either. So 2 to the 4th to the 3rd, we get this wonderful number. And then 2 to the 12 is not equivalent to that, right? Okay, so the difference is that if I had it like this, 2 to the 4th and then that whole thing to the 3rd. That's not what I have. Okay?
What? What? Something's wrong with you. You
Yeah.
even know what this card's for?
Cool? Dale,
You
dale.
like Carlo. You like Carlo.
And then we can take out what they have in common. Want to take out what they have in common? They have a common denominator, so we could put 2 to the 64 minus 2 to the 27 over 3 ln of 2. Yeah? Oh, we stop there? Alright. Doesn't bother you? It's okay? Alright. Excellent work. Alright. So let me give you your assignment, and then we'll do one more thing that I want to do as a review. Since we have some time. Because it did come out on the mock exam, and I want you to get that question right, because we did go over it. And we spent all that time going over Riemann sums and the different formulas, and I don't want to let that go to waste. Yeah, that number 30.
Oh yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah,
And I know it's going to come out, I have a feeling. I want to make sure that you don't get that wrong.
Still?
Yeah.
No, I was ready.
There's only 4 of them.
He was like, I'm gonna send you mine.
It's always a cycle. I don't know why I took it.
It's very
Cycle,
Wait, no.
like, ya no idea cycle.
I had her.
Because you know when you buy the
She never takes a break. She never takes a break. Literally? Man, what if you finish reading in like 5 minutes left? She's like, oh, I thought she was something negotiable.
No breaks.
Is your camera still
Any
recording?
statistics?
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna hear my
Here also.
Going to be ready to have a conversation around our page.
Alright, so let's look at these, okay? This is gonna be a problem that's new to the AV part, or that is not really new, but it's being tested. So expect this problem to come out. They're gonna ask you to rewrite. I don't know if they're gonna go from the integral to the summation with the limit, or they're gonna go with the summation with the limit to the integral. You need to go back and forth, vice versa, okay? So the easiest thing to do here is to remember, the majority of the time what I've noticed is that they do the right-handed Riemann sum. Did you guys remember the formula for that?